ear is empty of self. Can you find I there? Look, you say, no, I can hear. Can you find I there? Yeah. If right now Ekta's voice, the sound of Ekta's voice is coming to your ear, can you find an I in the sound or mine in the sound? Can you call it my hearing of Ekta's voice? No. So you can't call it mine. Ear consciousness is empty of self. Ear consciousness is nothing but the sense of hearing. Ear consciousness is empty of self. What is ear contact? When there is a healthy ear, when there are sounds, and when the sense of hearing, which is ear consciousness, all three meet. That is ear contact. It's nothing but describing one more arising that happens in the sequence. Can you say, when I heard Ekta's sound, I heard it, it is my hearing? No. Yeah. When I hear the sound, a feeling arises, that is the ear feeling. Can you say, I am feeling? Can you find the I anywhere? Capital I. Can you find I? So there is no I in the object of sound. There is no I in the sound. There is no I in the sense of hearing. There is no I in the contact of the three. There is no I even in the feeling that arises because of this entire process of hearing. Doesn't matter whether the feeling is pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, which is neither painful nor pleasant. Could you find an I in the feeling? Right now you're hearing Ekta's voice. Can you find an I in the feeling that is generated by listening to these words? Capital I. Can you find it? It is empty of self and what belongs to the self. Similarly, nose. The nose Ananda is empty of self and what belongs to self. Smells are empty of self and what belongs to self. Nose consciousness is empty of self and what belongs to self. Nose contact is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Nose feeling is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Whatever feeling arises with nose contact as condition, whether pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that too is empty of self and of what belongs to self. There is nothing there, absolutely nothing there. We discussed why I get lost. Beautiful perfume. I get consumed by it. Why do I get lost? Because the wave number 6 creates a story with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get consumed in the story that I miss the gap that was there in between each of those waves. When you truly recognize that, there is no I, there is no mine, then even if this projection continues, the story continues, you don't get confused by the story because now you have found that gap. You have found that it is not really a gap between arisings. You have inverted it and found that, it is an ocean of awareness in which there was an arising. It just arose and it went. It's just a void, an emptiness, absolute peaceful emptiness in which the arising comes and it goes. Again the arising comes and it goes. And again it comes and it goes. I don't get lost in that because I found this ocean of emptiness, and this is who I am. And you will not get confused then. Then even if wave number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goes on and on creating a story, it is just like a play, like a game. Let's assume that you are in a dramatic situation, okay? Let's take the example that you have been given the role of going on stage and being Lord Krishna, and you have to tell Arjuna you are not the doer. And Arjuna is stuck between two options. Should I fight all my family and kill them in the war, or should I just run away to the Himalayas and meditate? Yeah. So now this is a really dramatic situation where you have to explain it to Arjuna. Even in this most dramatic situation, you are not going to get confused. Why? Because you have recognized, oh, I am Ekta. I am just wearing Krishna's costume right now. I'm wearing the crown of Krishna and I'm standing like Krishna and explaining to Arjuna that you are not the doer. By wearing Krishna's costume, by speaking Krishna's language, I don't forget that I am Ekta. When this act is done, I get out of Krishna's costume, I get back into regular clothes and I go off stage. There is no confusion there. Yeah? So when you truly recognize that this world is empty of I and mine, you will come on stage, play the role. When the role is done, you go back off stage. So when I am on stage, that is called Vyavharik Satyam, transactional reality. I will transact with the wife, the husband, the child, the parent, the boss, the colleague, the extended family, whatever the issue is. I will transact with this world, knowing very well that right now I'm wearing this costume. I have the crown on my head and I have to do my transaction perfectly. What if Arjuna is all, completely in his dramatic emotions? Does Krishna also lose himself and get all dramatic with Arjuna? No. Krishna always remembers that I am Ekta off stage. Like that, you will remember that off stage, you are the witness. Only on stage, you have taken on the role of a wife, of a husband, of a parent, of a child, whatever. Are you getting what I'm saying? What does this mean? Even when I am on stage, I remember my off-stage reality. I never forget it. Yes, I never forget the gap between the two arisings. Right now, there is just a major arising, tsunami wave of drama coming from Arjuna. But Krishna never forgets that off stage, that is just Ekta. That is the witness. I do not need to become a part of this arising. Yes, but at the transactional level, to deal with Arjuna, Krishna tried all the possible ways, didn't he? Yes, he tried to explain it nicely. He tried to become his friend. He tried to become stern with him. He tried to really get upset with him. And in the end, he said, go, you are not going to get it. He tried all the possible ways. Yes. So at the transactional level, you are just playing a role as a mother, as a father, as a husband, as a wife, as a son or daughter, as a boss, as a colleague, whatever. You play your role perfectly, very well knowing I am on stage. Transactional reality, Vyavharik Satyam, is only an on-stage act, role, role play that I have to do. Yes? Getting off stage means what? Again and again, coming to the gap in between two arisings. Yes, that is going off stage. Resting as the witness. That is who I am. I cannot become Krishna 24/7. No. I am the witness. That was just a role play given to me that I do when I go on stage. Yes. So, recognize that the world is empty. When you recognize the world is empty, you will be able to do your role play beautifully, perfectly. Then nothing will ever go wrong in your world. Yeah, provided you remember off stage, I am the witness. I am untouched. Nothing can touch me. Yeah, because I am the void. Similarly, the tongue Ananda is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Tastes are empty of self and of what belongs to self. Tongue consciousness is empty of self and what belongs to self. Tongue contact is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Tongue feeling is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Whatever feeling arises with tongue contact as condition, whether pleasant or painful or neither painful nor pleasant, that too is empty of self and what belongs to self. Especially for people who get lost in yummy food, delicious food. Yeah, you get lost in it. Why? Because you start thinking, I am tasting this. Really do this experiment today. Pick up your grape or your vegetable or your fruit, whatever food you're eating, and close your eyes and taste it and see, am I really there in the taste? Am I in the tongue? Am I in the sense of tasting, which is nothing but tongue consciousness in Buddha's language? Am I in the tongue contact? Contact means the contact between tongue, the taste, and the tongue consciousness. Am I in the tongue feeling, the feeling that arises, whether pleasant or unpleasant? Am I there? There is no I. Then who is enjoying this delicious food? Yeah, right now you're all shaking your heads, but see the moment there is very delicious food in front of you. Pani puri, vada pav, pav bhaji, pizza, burger. Then see what happens. No, I am really there. Yeah, you become the vada and you become the pani puri. Yeah, then all this knowledge is gone. That is the time to remember this knowledge. Yeah, then there'll be no problem of extra health. Then you'll never say, I've become overweight. The problem of the people who are overweight is because they identify with the tongue or the taste. Yeah. Wake up and see. It is empty of self. Yeah. There is no I there. There is no mind there. The body Ananda is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Tactile objects are empty of self and what belongs to self. Body consciousness is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Body contact is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Body feeling is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Whatever feeling arises with body contact as condition, whether pleasant or painful or neither painful nor pleasant, that too is empty of self and of what belongs to self. It's especially for people who are very lured or tempted by touch, by the sense of touch, whether in the form of sex, pornography, or you get pulled into any kind of touch, anything that tempts you. You must do this experiment. This body, am I really there? If you really are looking at your sensations, you come to a point when you're observing, and you recognize there, I don't feel the body anymore. It's complete bodilessness. It feels like an empty space in which just one sensation arises and goes, another sensation arises and goes, another sensation arises and goes. Can I really find I? Do this. Experiment this today. Can I really find I in the body? Can I say, this is my body? Can you find that which belongs to the self? Mindness, my. Can you find my? Yeah? Tactile objects is nothing but anything that you can touch and experience. Those who are totally lost in thoughts of sex, really touch your partner's hand and see. Close your eyes and see. Doesn't the touch dissolve into the void, into nothingness? Isn't it empty completely? Can I find I? Can I find mine? I cannot see anything like that. There is no I, no mine, no my body or my partner's body. Yeah? Recognize this. These are experiments that you can actually do and come to the realization, yes, there is no I. There is no mine. It is just a story created by wave number 6, which joins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and weaves a story. That is also a thought. Projection is also a thought. Yeah. Either it is a thought, or it is an image in the mind, or it is a sensation, or it is some kind of emotional 1, 2, 3, 4 outbursts. Basically fireworks. There is no I. It is devoid of self and what belongs to the self. There is no I. There is no mine. Yeah. This will become very clear. So whether there is a tactile object and the skin or the body consciousness arises. There is contact between all three, that is called body contact, and a feeling arises. Can I find I and mine in any of these? The mind, Ananda, is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Thought is not the thinker. Yeah? There is no thinker. There is no decision maker. There is no chooser. So we realized mind, the so-called mind, I cannot find a box called the mind. I cannot find some container which has a lot of thoughts. I cannot find a container that is labeled memory. I cannot find a container that is labeled intellect. In my direct experience, I cannot find even the conscious mind or subconscious mind. These were all names that you learned to progress on the path of Dvaitam. It was great. It helped you build a foundation. Instead of looking outside, at least I started looking inside. But now I have to drop all labels. All Dvaitam needs to be dropped to see things clearly. Yeah? So the mind, Ananda, is empty. There is nothing there. There is no I and no mine. It is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Mind objects are empty of self and of what belongs to self. What are mind objects? Thoughts, feelings, perceptions, sensations are mind objects. We already did this. Yeah? There is no I in thought. There is no I in sensation. There is no I in feeling. There is no I in perception. They arise on their own. You were walking down the street, the perception of the mint ice cream picture arose on its own. Did you do anything? No, there is no I. Yes, perception arises on its own. The I got attracted towards that direction, saw the poster, the I consciousness arose. Seeing arose. Is there an I in seeing? That also you experimented. You could not find the capital I in seeing. You could not find the capital I in I consciousness. Yeah, when actually eye contact happened between I consciousness, the I and the form, there was no capital I or my seeing in that. Yeah, it just happens. You see, it happens. It is an arising. Automatically it arises. Yes, the feeling automatically arose. I did not make the feeling arise, a pleasant feeling arise or an unpleasant feeling arise. Feelings arise of their own accord. There was no I in that feeling. These are all mind objects, perceptions, sensations, thoughts and feelings. They all arise of their own accord. They are empty of I or mine. They are empty of self and what belongs to the self. Clear? Then mind consciousness is nothing else but I am thinking, I am sensing, I am feeling. Is there an I really, or is this another conditioning, a story that I have told myself? Every time your test is to take yourself to the stage where you were a baby. Does the baby say, I am seeing the toy, mama? No. There is no I am seeing. There is no I. So mind consciousness is empty of self. So there is no I am thinking, I am seeing, I am feeling. Similarly, mind contact is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Mind contact is nothing but the contact between the mind objects and the mind consciousness. Yes, and then the feeling arises. Whatever feeling, pleasant or unpleasant. Can you find an I? There is no I. So whatever the feeling, that too is empty of self and what belongs to the self. It is Ananda because it is empty of self and of what belongs to the self, that it is said, empty is the world. Empty is the world.